Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Last Days of Europe with me, Alpha Omega, and Greater Germanic Reich. So in the last episode we have nearly finished the research of the advanced APC chassis, for which we still don't have enough army experience though. But we've done a lot of other research and a lot of things with our production lines. And the game keeps lying to me, telling me we have more. So let's just assign those fictitious production units and continue. The good news is that our deficit is still around 6.3%. We have a real GDP growth of nearly 12 though now, with the inflation oscillating downwards. And that means our debt to GDP is most likely going to fall sub 79 once we reach October. But we're gonna see. At this point, we're kind of waiting it out, seeing what's going to happen. I've been thinking about what we could do, though, and one thing that definitely comes to mind is getting more fuel refineries up. They should be very expensive, though. Yeah, they are very expensive. But they provide us with 72 fuel each. So if we would build 10, that's 720, and that's not exactly something that we can ignore. So I think that once we finish the current setup, which is mostly the plants that we're building, never started to build and that we're working on, we can start 2 production lines. So let's say we can build 2 here, 1 in Sudetenland, okay, 1 here, 1 in Franken, 3 in Süd Hanover, 2 in Kurzheim, 1 in Hessen-Nassau, 3 in Sachsen, and 3 in Hellen-Merseburg. Now that should be enough. We have what? 2, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 22, 23, 24, 25. I hate even numbers or numbers that aren't divisible by 5. So 25 refineries means that we are going to get roughly 1800, 1900 fuel per day, which should be fine. I mean, our mechanized armies are super fuel hungry. They use 33 per hour, meaning that just these guys, is it per hour or is it per day? I think that's per day. That might be per day. So that would be 132 for each. That's 300, 400 roughly for just the mechanized units. Not to mention Air Force and other things. Oh, by the way, we finished the refit of almost all of our frigates, and we have the first carrier. Okay, I completely missed that. It wasn't there a couple of days ago. So hey, we got our first Bürgerkrieg done. Isn't that amazing? Which means we need to put more ships into production though. So I say we put in yet another of the frigates, Wilhelmshaven, at least for now. So hey, that's really cool. So I can put you guys all in here. Köln is actually finished, so Köln can be assigned to the first Atlantische Flotte, but actually let's keep them all together. I don't mind that. Go and drill me my lovelies. Teutonen class. Oh, that's so cool. The first Bürgerkrieg class carrier is officially seaworthy now. How amazing is that? Army experience points. Nah, not much. Not a whole lot. This is all fine. Still need 1856 Jagdpanzers to finish the rearming of all of the AFVs, but that's fine. Leopards as well. I mean, with this in place, we are doing pretty good. The only thing that we actually don't have right now is this, the advanced APC chassis in place. But the shoot sponsor Turbo K1 is already actually a redesigned version that we did. So all of our vehicles are actually doing pretty good. You have a cast armor, you have a diesel engine, suspension, torsion bar. So the new one is going to be pretty cool as well. Can we upgrade anything here? Yeah, we need to give you cast armor, non-track suspension. I'd like to give you the half-track. So the game seems to be adamant that we can keep the track suspension, so why not? You're not that fast. Hydropneumatic, intro with road wheels, Christie suspension. Let's give you the hydropneumatic. Okay, so that alone puts us at 14 experience points, and you have a gasoline engine. So you have an infantry designation. You have no weapon. That is ridiculous. Oh yeah, this is this is the one. That's the one that's giving us breakthrough 16 and piercing 40, but no actual damage. Oh, how I hate these. We can't throw and mount any support weapons, can we? Nope. I don't know what the logic is behind that. I mean, how can you increase the piercing and not actually have anything? Well, we can give you the autocannon. Where are you? We should sponsor turbo here. You had high defense. High defense, breakthrough. A bit of soft attack, so we are already doing better on the soft attack. So let's give you the radio, and considering you are an APC, I think that additional machine guns might be a good idea. Then we'd give armor, breakthrough, piercing, autoloader, easy maintenance. Wasn't there something like an anti... Yeah, it's here, but that doesn't give heart attack. I would really like it if we could get some heart attack into the mess, but... Nope. Crew heater, explosive reactor, easy maintenance, automatic, fire control system. Let's get the NBC production. That just makes sense. Okay, so will this work? Defense. Actually, we have a high reliability, so we just need to make you faster. If we gave you the diesel engine and then sped you up, that's, I guess, even too high. Yeah, we can go lower. 20.7, and we can even boost the armor slightly. Okay. Even more? Yeah, even more. Okay. So you have soft attack, which is higher, 9 compared to 5, hard attack 3 compared to 1, max speed is 0.6 kilometers higher, piercing is 10 points higher, armor is 25.5 compared to 15.5, breakthrough 33.3 compared to 22.7, defense 21.8 compared to 6.2. Okay, so we need 36 experience points for this. So this would be cool. So let's aim for something like this, and we'll be happy. And in the meantime, we can research. We're actually done here. I don't think we want anything like the heavy tanks. So let's look down here. This is also ahead of time. World War II armor train and a railway gun. Not interested. This is ahead of time. This is ahead of time. this is ahead of time. Support. Oh yeah, support. Let's actually get the logistics company, because that one is good. It's gonna benefit us definitely. Fuel usage lowered is always amazing. Developing standardized classification for supplies will minimize confusion and make planning more efficient, as well as aid in internal record keeping for our research and logistic branches. 77 days. That sounds like a lovely idea. And don't forget we need... Well, after we design this one, I think we might be actually done and can move back to redesigning our units, because that is something that we also need to do. Increase our daily gain. Okay, that's fine. Strom Thurmond inaugurated as US President. America is in a state of national mourning following the stunning assassination of President Robert F. Kennedy and Vice President William Guy. The President pro tempore of the US Senate, Strom Thurmond, has been sworn as America's chief executive. Oh my god! Did they assassinate yet again the president? Thurmond, a leading member of the NPP's nationalists, hails from the state of South Carolina, and he is well known as an ardent segregationist. In an address to Congress, he has called for unity and patriotism in the wake of this national tragedy, but many are already fearing what the new president may do. President Thurmond? What year is it again? Okay, so we finished yet another... No, wait, we didn't. Oh, and it's the... Aha! That are the upgrades. So I don't really have much to build here, to be quite honest. Don't really have much to build. I'm not gonna lie. That's the fact. Okay, against advanced frigate hull. Supposed to be over there. So are you. And you are minewares, so that is fine. You guys just get in here and start drilling. And we're gonna assign you to the Atlantische Flotte. Okay, 20th of September. This is looking pretty good. Actually, the euro deficit went down now. Someone mentioned that the real GDP growth dropped when we took the austerity, but I think that's because we invest less. You know, if you like increase some expenses, you will see that the real GDP growth goes up. So I think that by lowering the deficit, we actually just had that happen. And good lord, did me playing with this just lowered... God, I'm in math. I don't want that. Give me back my 6.1. Give me back my 6.1. What about you guys? Ukraine, 14.46. Finland, second. Boer Republic, the third. On the third place. Okay, we finished all of the infrastructure that we wanted. Now we're building the refineries. Nice and nice building, never. That is going to be interesting. That is going to be interesting. Construction speed is increased. Okay, synthetic oil investment, get me that. 1 cog. Oh, nice. That's another... Yep. Another Reichsschnellfahrstrecken program boost. Rather than a technical report on the details of how the railway system worked or what the train was made out of, Jan was given an economic report on the potential use of the railway system, primarily when it came to the usage of transporting slaves to new homes. With the fresh smell of Prague's morning coming through the crack of the window in his office, Jan felt somewhat enlivened by today. As a reformist, he barely had any good news that came from the Reich, and he was, well, just a mere bureaucrat. But while his loyalties were to his country, his sympathies were to the people exploited by the Reich, though he never had an opportunity to show it. Now, however, he did. Jan wanted to extinguish some of the guilt in his heart that he felt for feeling like he was a coward for not joining a resistance group in Eastern Europe, instead sticking his nose in a cushy job here. Yet it paid off. While he himself wasn't that important, he knew a lot of people who were, some of whom could, influence what cargo would pass through these trains. Well, that's kind of interesting event. Already it's looking like a good, nice thing. With a satisfied nod to himself after he read over the paper, Jan stood up and began to walk. His shift has been over since 15 minutes ago. He simply wanted to acquaint himself with the most recent paper he had acquired, and now he had plenty of reason to take action. As he left his building and went out into the street, Jan felt something akin to an internal peace. So, GDP is increased by 0.25, or GDP growth is increased by 0.25. We get an increase in construction of the program, and we get extra boost in GDP. Okay, 13.11 and deficit almost 6. And hey, okay, debt to GDP dropped to 78.9. We are doing God's work here. Cool, cool, cool. Let's check out the program itself. I always forget where it is. It's here, right? 63.2% done. I guess it's not gonna extend outside of this area. That's interesting. But someone, I think it was... who was that? I kind of forgot. It was... Give me a second, I'm looking through my notes. I think it was Wolfal. Oh yeah, here he said it. Let me check the numbers. Yeah, saves 10.48 million. Okay, so his math doesn't add up because this number doesn't add up, but he calculated that if we would transport 8,000 slaves a month, it would take 122 years, almost, 123 years to get rid of them. But considering between episode 87 where he posted and we had 11.77 million back then and we got 10.48, I guess the math isn't really adding up all that well. But yeah, his comment made me laugh kind of a lot. Okay, so we finished the modern special forces training, and now I guess we can go with support as well. Attack helicopter company or the signal company. Now let's go with the maintenance company 4. Experiences with designing for active redundancy in the Second World War can be renewed to work with more modern equipment to make maintenance easier and ensure that accidents are not as severe. So equipment capture ratio increased and reliability bonus plus 5%. That is what I wanted to hear. Okay, this is looking pretty good. This is 7% extra on real GDP growth. But we're still under the civilian and military austerity. So, who the hell knows how it's gonna look like when we're done. Okay, got another frigate here. Okay, 3 of those. Yemen declared war on the Yemen Arab Democratic Republic. Oh god. That is horrifying. So these 3 frigates will join the first Atlantische Flotte, and we don't have any of the old frigates anywhere. You are minewires. Okay, we do have 4 of them here, so I'm going to disband these. Yep, and reassign 1, 2, 3, 4 of these into the second fleet. Or actually the Südwestflotte, it's not a second fleet. And we need 1 additional frigate in here just for the numbers. And then 2 more, so 6 more. Civil war erupts in Yemen. Following a long period of strife within Yemen, civil war has finally broken out, and rebel forces declaring themselves the Yemeni Democratic Arab Republic have taken up arms against the monarchy. Italy and the Saudis seem to have found common ground in King al-Badr, who has welcomed the support of both groups with open arms, at the same time attempting to present himself as a reformist and keeping an alliance with the Saudi monarchy. Al-Badr has played his cards well. Abdullah al-Sawal, on the other hand, has support from a large portion of the military, himself a prior general of Badr's royal guard. Discontent with the monarchy, he intended to create a republican and socialist Yemen, with support from numerous pan-Arabist movements, including Ba'athists, admirers of Nasir, and communists. Instability in the Middle East? How strange. So, Revolutionary Command Council, left-wing nationalism, and so on. 3 divisions, and you get also 3 divisions. It's probably the same thing as we had in here. No, they are still fighting. 5 and 6. Well, as long as they're fighting. The Yemen Arab Republic. Oh, okay, we can actually get involved in that? I'm surprised. Wasn't expecting that. Absolute market. Well, it's despotic. A civil war has broken out in the Sunday mountainous wasteland known as Mutawakit Kingdom of Yemen, and it is in our interest to support the rebels fighting against the remote Arabian kingdom. The rebels are fighting for an Arab republic in the name of an ideology called Ba'athism, which is a pan-Arab nationalist and pseudo-socialist movement whose ideological intricacies are very complex and complicated. What is important is that they are challenging Italian and Saudi influence in the oil-rich Gulf region, and factions of their movement are sympathetic to Germany. Really? So I was thinking we would be supporting these guys, but obviously these are the ones that we should be helping. Considering they're socialist, really? Well, if we send aid to these Ba'athist rebels and they successfully topple their Italian lapdog of a monarch, we could see our own geopolitical influence and economic power expand. Well, okay, let's have a look. Choose which country to support. States Al-Baida. Increase our commitment. Okay, that decreases our regime stability but gives us 25 command power. Yemen Arab Democratic Republic. Wait, what? Okay, this looks like there might be a future bigger conflict because the Syrian Republic, the Arab Republic, the Dhofar. Okay, so our involvement in the conflict increases, so there's probably going to be more things. Authorized to Wafa operations in Yemen. Yemen and German bombing runs. Our involvement increases by 5. Technical support for the Ba'ats. They get construction speed, research speed, factory output. Do they even have factories? Though that's the question. Well, we don't know, I guess. Do we? Cause no, it would show it. It would show it. And adapt the here for desert combat, heat attrition, reconnaissance, hot acclimatization. So let's increase our commitment and authorize operations there. While we're at it, we can adapt the here for desert combat. The desert is harsh, the heat is brutal, the sand is endless and gets into everything, and the terrain is unforgiving, barren, and difficult for conventional vehicles. For the unprepared, the desert isn't just another unforgiving battlefield, it's a graveyard. That is why we're retooling our equipment for desert warfare. Sand gets into everything. We need a rugged, reliable firearm that can handle that environment, like the AK-47. Resupply points are few and far between, so we need to equip our men with enough munition, fuel, food, and water to last weeks. Our current uniforms are wholly insufficient for an arid environment. We need a desert uniform that keeps our men cool, yet protected. Our vehicles that we are going to send will also need minor retooling. There's much work to be done, but when it is, our expeditionary forces we deploy will be unmatched. Okay, so can I now send you a unit? Yes. So I guess it might be cool to send the 20th Division here, under the command of Philip von Boeswager. The sooner we send them, the better it's gonna be for us. Oh, I can send 3 divisions! Okay. Otto Ernst Remmer. Yeah, we'll be sending an entire infantry army, which I think might not be a bad idea. Or do we have... well, or I could just take... Now let's assign you temporarily to the 6th Infantry Army and send the 7th Infantry Army. Those are special forces. I think they're gonna be way better suited to this. So this is under the command of Karol Sokoli. Here. Let's send them. We will allow our foreign force to come. Technical support. Minor. Send weapons and send vehicles. Sure. Why can't we send that? Oh, we need them. We need them to get a Mediterranean port. So that actually tells me that we need to go with Oh god, they're gonna probably start... If we support them, they're probably gonna start revolutions elsewhere. That's how it's gonna happen. Okay, send Wehrmacht instructors, sure. I mean, we do have everything we need here. So why wouldn't we share it with them? 13.2. And you have a deficit of 6.56. Deja vu. It had not been more than 2 days since Joachim and the German volunteer army under his command first arrived onto the shores of Hudaida under the auspices of humanitarian aid sent to relieve the war-torn people of Yemen from their continued anguish. Yet it felt as if an eternity had passed. There was nothing to do in this hellhole other than stay in the shade of the camp and glance at the mountainous desert landscape that lied outside, or stroll out the camp door and succumb to the scorching sun above them. Joachim might have served through similar conditions under Rommel's command during the tenure in the North African front, yet he was no longer the same man he was 3 decades ago. So, where are you guys? Oh wait, we actually didn't already send them? Okay, thought they arrived. There was a notice here, what was it? Technical support, okay, we don't want that one. He was a shell of his former self. His bones creaked, his muscles ached, and he could hardly take a stroll without running out of breath. He was stricken by the ills of old age, the same ills that he once mocked in his youth. That was not the only thing to change. The looks of the Arabs gave him were now ones of distrust and rage, not the cheers and salutations that accompanied the German victories in the Middle East during the war. Back then, he had read some local papers with the little scraps of Arabic he had learned in Libya, and had seen images of celebration and earnest belief in the coming Renaissance for the Arabs. They had welcomed the German army as liberators, an iron phalanx sent by God to avenge their subjugation, to strike fear into the hearts of the colonizers and throw off their foreign yoke, unleashing the Arab people from their shackles. But come to the end of the war and the collapse of the Anglo-French empires, that bubble of euphoria would rupture as the Italian phoenix and the Turkish mob, aided by the Germans, descended onto the carcass of the fallen empires and chained these aspiring countries to their own rising empires. After all, that was the natural order of things. The uncivilized and backward races would forever serve their more refined European masters. At least that was what Joachim always believed. Yet now he was here serving at the hands of Arab independence rebels wishing to break free from the Italian protectorate. Why and for what reason? He did not know, yet it was the Führer's command, and the ever-wise Führer, infallible as he was, is surely correct in his motives and plans. His line of thought was interrupted by the sudden arrival of a stern-looking Arab calling on him to attend to an envoy arriving from Germania. Coming betrayal or vindication, the Arabs do not know. Okay, so this is now... Aha! Here we have the Americans. You sneaky Americans, we are going to make you pay. The Ivy Division. They stand no chance. Okay, well, advance in here immediately. And we need to take Porto di Aden. Wait, are you joking? Are we going to overtake them? No, we didn't. Okay. But yeah, this is... our special forces are kinda the stuff here. Six cavalry divisions. Well, the Americans here might try to stall us, but Rock of the... I don't know what that is. For Rock of the Marne. Oh, Rock of the Marne. It's actually a pretty cool name. So actually no, we're gonna attack Taiz, take the capital, then take Lahij, and then see if we can take Zinjibar and encircle the units in Aden and Porto di Aden, because that would be pretty cool if that worked. Yeah, it will work. It will definitely work. They are retreating to Aden and Porto di Aden, where we are going to encircle and destroy them. Lahij is now the capital. Yeah, the might of the Wehrmacht is unstoppable. Smoker setting. The inside of the limousine seemed not unlike a beehive to Wilhelm, feeling nearly identical to a hive that would be suffocated in smoke to silence the bees within. Taking another puff of his cigar, the arms representative chuckled. The chauffeur looked back to Wilhelm holding a wide grin on his face, looking more out of curiosity than anything, and he stuttered as they met eyes. He should be here any minute now, Herr Strick, Wilhelm smiled, and nodded to the man, and took another puff of a cigar. With that, the presumed representative of the Bahatist knocked on the window, climbed into the car, and took a seat next to his fellow guest in the city of Sofia. Herr Strick, tell me, do they still allow you to smoke this much in Lufthansa? Wilhelm held out a cigar box, which the Arab opened graciously. Of course not, Herr Ahmad. This car alone must be only second to the smokestack in the east, no? Ahmad smiled, a look of discomfort coating his face as he leaned back in his seat. Don't worry, the Bahatist cause is one which seems to fall directly in line with the Reich's, therefore you're the safest man on this planet. The tension in the room lifted, even in if the smoke hadn't, and Ahmad removed a stack of papers from his briefcase. First order of business, how much can we count on you in terms of providing us with firearms? Wilhelm scoffed at the question and put on a smirk over his raised eyebrow. Ahmad, Germania backs our checks from here to kingdom come. This is only really a matter of how confident you are you can put the guns to good use. How many in reserve? The question seemingly swamped Ahmad, though he was clearly hiding his glee if the slight smirk of his own said anything. At least a few dozen thousand. I'd say around 100,000 last I checked. Consider it done. Expect results in the coming months. Cool. So now they are attacking us, which is really fine. With this kind of defense, I don't think they have any chance of breaking us. And here we go, 1st of November. So we're ending this episode at debt to GDP 78.7 and with the actual good sense that we are progressing and there's something to do. War in Yemen. So see you soon.